we are trying to say that people will not give anybody money if they do not think that they are ready to maximize the funding that they are going to get. So investment readiness is you positioning yourself and your business to be perceived as an organization that is ready to take funding, that will have the capacity to use it well. So here is it. Nobody wants to give anybody money. And then the next thing is that the person has bought a Range Rover Sport, right? The person buys a Range Rover Sport, and then the next thing is from that Range Rover Sport, 1 year after, you hear that the business has gone down. And it's the reason why venture capitalists do what is called, what's it called? Due diligence, DD. Or DD. People then do that so that they're able to then be sure that the businesses that they are having a conversation with is ready for investment. So an investment in knowledge pays the best, meaning one of the best things that you can do as a founder is to ensure that before you have become investable, you must be super knowledgeable about what investors are seeking, about your industry, about your business, so that when anybody asks you any question, you're able to answer. Now, the things that investors are looking for is called return. Nobody puts money in a business so that I can come back and collect the same amount after a few while. No, they put money in a business so that after a while, they can get much more than the value they put in that business back of that business, right? So it is return. Return on interest then speaks to the fact that, okay, I put 10 naira in this business. In your business, I put 10 naira. And in 1 year's time, you ask me to come and take 15 naira. Now that's big business, right? So what you are doing when we say investment readiness is that you are communicating to the investor that if you put money in my business, you will make money. Most pitch decks that go to, okay, someone is raising their hand, and that's Joshua, please. You have the floor.
Sorry, it was a mistake.
Okay. I've seen people do pitch decks and say things like, oh, I'm building this, I'm building this, I'm building this, I'm building this, I'm building this. Okay, so when we're done, we'll build this with this. And what we are looking, our ask is this. And nothing in that pitch deck points to the fact that, see, if you buy equity in our business, this is where we are going. Nothing shows the past traction and the future projection of where that business is going, because it's the fact that this business has performed well in the past, and you're showing me the future that it will, from our estimation, it will impact in another 2 years, our company will double its valuation. If that is what is going to be interesting to any investor, to say, oh, these guys are ready for us to put money in. If you have not built your business to that level, most of the time, you're either looking for a grant or an angel investor that will just give you money based on, I like your face and I think that you will do, and I just believe in you. Most investors who then deal with businesses that are not in early stage, they're actually looking at potential return on investment to take their investment decisions, right? So some documents, aside from your pitch deck that gives you the first foot in the door, some documents that investors then like to see at the end of the day is your income statement, your balance sheet, your expense report, financial projections, and your success metrics. Note that if you are at the idea stage, you cannot have all of this because you've not run the business. Remember our conversation around we saying start with your own money, bootstrap, start with family, friends, and fools. And if you're lucky, get angel investors that will put money in your business. It is that their money that you're going to run, and while you're running with their business, to become investment ready, is that you are careful the way you spend. You spend in a way that you have income statements to show, that you have proper books to show how you're spending. Because if you don't spend well with 100,000 naira, why should I give you 10 million naira? When I cannot see your financials for 100,000, all your books are scattered everywhere. You are collecting money inside your personal account. Everything is just scattered. All right. So any investor that is aside from, now I'm saying aside from entry level, what's it called? Early stage, right? A businesses who, of course, is an idea. There's nothing you have done, so there's nothing to show. If you're not in idea stage, it is expected that you have some of these things, right? So in getting ready, some of the things that you also need to do is to be sure that you need funds. Now, a number of people just think that fundraising is just something to show that my startup is a good startup because we raise funds. No. If you don't need funds, don't raise it. And then do not raise beyond what you need. If you need 10 naira, raise 10 naira. Don't raise 20 million, because if you raise 20 million, you dilute your business. And at the end of the day, you have money that you must spend that you may not be able to return. So as much as possible, raise what you need, but you check what you actually need money for before you begin your fundraising. What do I actually need money for? I need salaries for a 12-month runway. I need to build this platform. I need to subscribe. I need to get this license. I need to do. Once you get those things, then you're able to then know what you're working on. Now, to an interesting topic, which I think that I'm not going to really want to do a lot of talking. Okay, let's take this quote first as a icebreaker. Can someone please read this quote and tell me what it means to them?
Ideas are easy, implementation is hard. I think that it means that it's easy to have ideas. Implementing it is where the struggle comes from. It's easy for everyone to have, a lot of people have plenty ideas, but a lot of people just stop at idea stage because implementing is where the work is. I think that's what it means.
God bless you. That's fantastic. That's a very, 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 very fantastic explanation to that. So there's nothing to add. So what we're actually discussing now is the difference between venture studios, incubators, and accelerator. And I think that this is actually very straightforward in terms of choosing an enterprise support partner for your venture. Venture studio, or which is also called startup studio, or startup builder, or company builder, or venture builder, or startup studio, you know. There are different names that venture studios come in, and there are different models of venture studios as well. But the primary thing to know about venture studios is that they actually conceive, build, and launch their own ventures. They don't, unlike incubators that they incubate other people's businesses. Venture studios build their own businesses. So, and some models of venture studio then permits a venture studio to adopt an idea from somebody who has an idea and is not interested in running with it. Right? It's more or less like, think of it of a mother, sadly, a mother that is about to have a child, but knows that they're not willing, they're not able, and they're not interested in raising the child. They can put the child up for adoption. And what that means is that even though they gave birth to the child, the surname of the child, everything about the child is not linked to them again, depending on the type of adoption anyway. And the goal of this model really is to improve the success rate of businesses, because then the business is actually being run internally by professionals on one hand, and there's a lot of shared resources that naturally kills a business when it's on its own, right? That's that for venture studio. So there are different types of venture studios. There are venture studios that are built by corporates. An example of a very strong corporate that silently runs a venture studio is Starling Bank. I won't call them, let's say they are a bank just building products. So what they're actually doing, right? It's like corporate venture studio. There are venture studios that are focused on niche business. It's not a common thing in Nigeria at the moment. The venture studio model just became popular about 3 years ago, and there are only a few handful venture studios in Nigeria at the moment. Venture studios work from ideation to validating the idea and creating the ideas, spinning it out and supporting with scaling up, right? So that's pretty much straightforward. If you want your business to be adopted by a venture studio, the same way sometimes mothers can choose which parents will adopt their baby. You want to see if the team is visionary, if they have experience, if they have engineers and designers on the team, if the network of the studio is strong, they also provide business and operation support, and then if they are, what their investment structure is. There are different structures to investment. Some venture studios actually will provide a little funding. Others then just provide. Please just a moment, guys. I can't put this. Watch to bring it. So, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. Right. So you want to check out what is available. Sure, you don't have expectations, right? And then what is their track record? Have they built any business that is alive? You want to check those businesses out and see how they are doing. Now, the benefit of a venture studio compared to an incubator and accelerator is that you get operational support, you get financial support. Sometimes it can be in sweat. You get accelerated development, a collaborative environment. You're able to see other businesses and get involved in other businesses, and other business can get involved with you. You reduce your risk because you're then working in a group, as against an incubator where you come in, you do your incubation. After that, you are on your own. You go and sort yourself out. All right, so incubators, hubs that help early stage business start their business. There are hubs in universities, there are incubators that are affiliated to corporate. There are independent and private incubators out there. I'm going to skip this a lot. Accelerators are focused on startups that want to scale. Accelerators sometimes do early stage, but really the whole idea is to help a startup scale quickly. And most of them provide money. So that's the whole essence of the scaling. They know that if I pick you, I give you some knowledge and I put money behind you and I watch you. Now use the money to go and implement what I've just taught you. That's the way accelerators work. All right. The examples of accelerators, and we're going to skip this. All right. So in terms of where most of, because those words are used interchangeably, in terms of where most of these enterprise support organizations work, startup studio typically starts from the idea up to growth stage. Incubators basically do some idea, not fresh idea, but at least you have done something on that idea and helps you through validation. Accelerator doesn't work with idea. You must have done something, right? And because they want to give you money. Most of the time, accelerators end up giving you money. So they are walking you through validation, through creation. Early stage VCs will invest in you during your validation and your creation stage, but growth stage VC will only do growth. Private equity, those are the big guys. It must be a serious enterprise, a big guy, to be able to even get into a conversation with them. So this is the time for me to take questions before we go into the last part of this. And I think we should be able to finish this so that we can take questions. Please, I know that it's already 5 o'clock and our arrangement is to end 5. If you spare me more time, if you spare me another 10 minutes, we'll just quickly run through business etiquette. Business etiquette is what everybody knows, so let's just talk about it. Let it not be that we didn't even mention it at all. Do we agree? Do I have your lessons?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So I want to take questions. So let me just move on. So business etiquette is critical because there are a number of people complain that people in the startup phase are rude. They don't understand business because you just start. Most startup owners do not even have corporate experience to even know how to deal, how to say yes, how to say no. Just enter business, just do anyhow, like that. You understand? And which is kind of true, right? But at the end of the day, it is very important that we infuse some professionalism. Even though we're a startup, we are one-man business sometimes, we're alone and we're struggling to get everything up and running. It does not excuse the fact that we should at least try to maintain some level of professionalism. So there's something called business ethics. It's really how you then take decisions and put some morality. It may not be, ethics doesn't have anything to do with whether there's a right or wrong, right? Ethics basically has to do with moral. It doesn't have to do with legality. That's what I meant to say. Maybe the law, if you can be sued to court for not doing it. So for instance, I think I will look for examples as we go on. Things, if you are not loyal, if you don't respect your customers, nobody can take you to court and say, hey, you didn't respect. If you are not trustworthy, if you are not fair, right? I won't pick respect for law because that can be controversial, right? If your office is always dirty and so, except if you are a health business or a food business, nobody will come and say you are going to prison because your office is dirty. But ethics ethics just basically says that you know what is right morally and then you do it. So there are things that we need to pay attention to when it comes to business ethics. It's that data protection. How do we use the data of our customers? How do we take their data like Facebook and sell it? Do we spam them with unnecessary messages? How? How do you prioritize your customer? Do you always make them last in your decision? That one is even not a difficult thing. Don't prioritize your customers. Your customers will walk away. So it's even very straightforward. There's also workplace diversity. Are you someone that will say, oh, I can't hire Muslims? No, I can't hire Christians. No, I can't hire women. No, I can't hire men. Well, I don't know about the other things, but at least those ones, you should be able to open up and allow for diversity in your workplace, in your venture, right? If something is wrong in your workplace, do you allow people to report? Is there a whistleblower protection policy? Is there corporate transparency? Are there things that are going on underground that you are just killing? Do you pay your employee for the work that they do? As employee compensation. There's a possible trade-off between ethics and profit. Sometimes the people that are not ethical, because they are not ethical, they can make a lot of money, right? But it doesn't mean it is right, right? So sometimes being ethical means that you may lose some profit. That's what this point is saying. And number two is then saying that sometimes developing, implementing, maintaining, and adjusting and refining ethics in business takes time. You don't expect that a business starts one day and then they get everything right that day. Okay, almost done. But if you do run an ethical business, you elevate the quality of your brand, you attract talents. Investors will come to you because they know that, oh, these guys are clean guys. Their books are clean, everything is clean, right? You'll be able to negotiate, people trust you, right? So in terms of those who will be doing business and will be talking to people one-on-one, it's always very important that your body language when you talk to people is very important. You project confidence, you'll be still part. This is still part of business ethics. You be friendly, be sincere, and you genuinely care about people, not just trying to sell things to people. The 3 R's, you recognize people, respect people, and be responsive. And don't keep people waiting just because you are the boss. That means if people are in a class for 4 o'clock, don't keep them waiting. And if you come, apologize. If you come late, apologize. So Dami gave the example today, right? So there are small things that you also should know. Before you send out emails, as much as possible, proofread it. Be polite in your email, be polite, be professional, respond in a timely manner. Keep your emails brief, no story. If you are on a video call and you're not talking, mute yourself. Don't make noise in the video. Engage with your body. Don't interrupt people unnecessarily. Dress appropriately if you're on a video. If you're on a phone, well, when they say don't call unannounced, it doesn't mean that you can't call people. It doesn't mean that you cannot call people when you actually do need them. But what we're just saying there is that sometimes if you want to make those calls, you may decide to send people messages in advance before calling them. That's what that is. And then if you're calling a stranger, somebody that you don't know before, if you're cold calling, you are then asking, oh, please, could you spare the next 5 minutes for a quick conversation? Don't just go and then talk and assume that people are just waiting for you to talk and then you're just talking ahead. Okay, almost done. The key components of business etiquette: professional communication, punctuality, which is a very horrible thing for someone to be a startup founder and you're always late to meetings, late to everything. People will read it quickly and they may not tell you to your face, but they will never take your startup serious. Yep. Dress code as well. As much as possible, you want to dress professionally to meetings, to work. You don't want to put on slippers to a client's office. Don't have slippers. Actually, I'm exaggerating because I don't think that anybody in their right senses will even do that. Right? So dress code, dress properly. If you are in meetings, be considerate, pay attention in that meeting. If you're networking, put some courtesy in your networking. Table manners when you're in social gatherings as a founder, when you get to a 5-star restaurant to meet a client and they put fork and knife in front of you, you had better learn to use the fork and knife. Don't be a bush boy. They call you to a meeting, an investors meeting in Washington. Don't fall our hand. Respect yourself. Have table manners while you are actually having those meetings. Respect people's personal space. Don't be a prognoser or be civil. All these things are actually general things that we know. So business ethics is the moral compass of decision making. When they say that is unethical, what we're then saying is that you're not following the acceptable norms of behavior in the professional world, and they form the basics of how we then want to conduct our businesses with our clients and other stakeholders. I think that would be all. That's fantastic. That's all. Wow. I did it under 10 minutes. Beautiful. Okay, so I think that's the whole business etiquette part of things. And the reason why we infuse it in our curriculum is this, and I think I just want to put that context before we wrap up for today, is the fact that at the end of the day, most founders are actually rude, proud. They don't know how to talk to customers. They don't know how to talk to customers. They don't know how to. I think I should add at this junction, some customers don't know how to talk to founders too. But it's very important that in order to maximize opportunities that will then come your way, that you build character. There's something I put on my status, I think 2 days ago. It was a short video from Y Combinator that says that startups take after their founders. That means the character of the business most of the time takes the character of the founder, and that you need to watch your own character and build your character early enough. And I wrote it as note to self. And I think it's a note to all of us on this call, that the truth is that at the end of the day, we being ethical, if you are not an ethical person naturally, if you're someone that disrespects people naturally, in your business will be disrespectful to people. If you're someone that genuinely doesn't care about people, your business will not care about people. It's just what happens. So business ethics is really, and the culture of a business is really driven by the founder or CEO, whoever is leading the charge. All right, this is where I draw the curtains on this very, very long journey we have taken. 78 slides. We try. Questions? Questions?
None, sir.
Okay. This will mean that I did a fantastic job, and I do not think that there will be a need for a class on Friday. So Femi, given the fact that everybody is cool with the way I've explained right now, if anybody has any follow-up question, let's take it on WhatsApp, bring it to WhatsApp. Right? But one thing I'm going to do right now is I'm also going to invite everybody in this incubation program to our founders meetup this coming Saturday, starting school club to about 5:30 thereabouts. Right? It will be an opportunity to meet some of our partners. It will also be an opportunity, where possible, for me to introduce us to some of our stakeholders. It holds at 41 CMD Road, our HQ. So please, as much as possible, I'll be very, very glad to host everybody that is on this call on that day.